I'm looking around. Nobody's opening the door to the bus. No one's opening the door, but people are hopping out of the windows. Last week, when me and my sister Layla were on our way to Tropic Mall to buy some jewelry for my ear piercings and to get some snacks and stuff, we got on a bus from our area to Bursubi Turntable, and then from there you're supposed to take another bus. Anyways, so we got on the bus, but before we reached the turntable, we got into a 3-man collision car accident. The bus that we were in got hit by a bus that was coming forward and by someone who was coming from the side. So it was 2 cars that hit us. This is the accident. The gray car didn't really get hit really hard, so it kind of just drove away after. And honestly, when the car accident happened, I flew forward and I hit something soft. And I hit something soft, but I hit it really hard. So I donked my head and I looked, and it was someone's back. It was just a black shirt that I fell onto. So I fell onto the person that was sitting right next to me. The person that was sitting next to me was wearing a black shirt. And so he had gotten up and his blood was painted all over the floor. It was all over the floor. If it were not for that guy with the black shirt, me falling on him, the person that would have been bleeding out, it would have been me. And you know, Allah is so merciful, because my sister Layla was sitting on my lap less than 1 minute before we got into that car accident. It just so happened that she decided to get down because the person that was sitting on my right had left the bus. So it just so happened Layla decided to sit down next to me and look out the window for no apparent reason. And less than 1 minute, it had to be like 30 seconds, I'm so serious, that she had gotten down, that's when the car accident happened. It could have been Layla that I fell on that was crushed and was bleeding out. Like, it could have gone so many different ways. But alhamdulillah. And so when I sat up and I realized what was happening, I was looking for my sister. I was looking to make sure that she was okay. I asked her, I was like, Layla, are you okay? Are you okay? And she said, yeah, she's okay, but she was shaking and her hand was bleeding and her mouth was bleeding. But I was like, we need to get out of the car. I'm looking around. Nobody's opening the door to the bus. No one's opening the door, but people are hopping out of the windows. There's like side windows. People are hopping out of the windows. So some man out on the outside helped my sister get out of the window, and then afterwards he helped me get out of the window. And so me and my sister had to cross the road to get off the road. And so we were walking and I was helping her because her legs were shaking. She was shaking so bad. And we got away. There was a few chairs over there. We sat down and assessed the damage, alhamdulillah, we were okay. My sister, she busted her lip and cut her hand. Me, I just had some body pain. I hit my head really hard. I got one of those cartoon lumps on my head, I just donked my head, and then my shoulders were in a lot of pain. I hurt my knees real bad. My back was in pain. My chest was in pain. I don't even know what I hit my chest on, but my rib cage was in a lot of pain, but aside from muscle aches and pains, we didn't sustain that bad of damage. And she was shaking from, I guess, anxiety. I don't know. And after a couple minutes, the shaking stopped. So we sat down and we just waited. We tried to calm down and everything. And we didn't end up going to the Tropic Mall. We decided we were going to take some time off of the buses. And so our mom came to pick us up in her car. But the thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that in the Gambia, there's no way you can sue the government for a car accident. Like in America, if there's a car accident, you'll get paid by the government, you'll get paid by the insurance, that's not here. You don't get You don't get assistance from the government or insurance or the person that's at fault or anything. You don't get help. You can try to sue people, but the way that the government system works here is gonna be so much money that you're spending suing someone, and most likely it's not gonna get the outcome that you want. It's gonna take so long, and it just wouldn't be worth it at that point. And I was thinking, we were so blessed, we were so lucky to not sustain such bad injuries, but that person that was sitting right next to me with this blood all over the floor, because the seats, they crashed down, they were laid down, and they're metal seats. So this guy that I fell onto just was crushed. And so I was wondering, how is he gonna get assistance, and how is the woman in front of us? There was this one woman at the front row. She got crushed by the seats too, because the cars, they came at our front. The bus came, hit us in the front, and then the other car came, hit us in the front, but from the side. So she was in the front row, and she was just crying, and it was terrifying. And I was like, wow, how is she gonna get help? Because you have to pay out of pocket. If you're injured, you have to pay out of pocket. You go to the hospital, they are not gonna see you unless you have money to be seen. It's not like America, they have to let you in, you have to get checked. No, you can get checked when you get the money to get checked. And so there was people being carried out of the bus, couldn't walk. They were being carried out and carried to hospitals. And I'm wondering, if they don't have the money for it, what's gonna happen? Are the people that are also in the bus gonna help out? Is the bus driver going to help out? But I don't know. I was asking around, and I didn't get definite answers. I just think that those people who were getting carried to the hospital just had to pay for it themselves or not be seen, and that's really sad, but that is the reality. You have to understand, the country that we're in, it's hard out here. It's more difficult because it is a less developed country. You don't have certain assistances, you don't have certain help, but alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful again that me and my sister, we left out of there, and we were just scratched, nothing, no big injuries were sustained, so alhamdulillah for that. But I just wanted to share my story with you of my first car accident abroad. Honestly, my first car accident, because I have my license. In America, I was driving, and I got into a small car accident, but really I just scratched a car. I just tapped it lightly, but it wasn't anything. No one got hurt, but they still considered it a car accident. But it was nothing like this. This was my first major car accident. This was so scary, and I'm still shaken up from the buses. I'm still shaken. And before, you could see, oh wow, these people, the Gambians, the road rules are different. So it's wow, they're driving and it's scary, but you don't really feel scared. You don't feel scared. You're it's a little different, it's different from the Americas where they have certain rules and stuff, but you don't feel scared when you're in a bus. But now I'm scared. But alhamdulillah, I know that this will pass, and it has to pass because I'm here. But I just wanted, I don't know, to share it. Thank you for listening.